A few months ago, I created a fake movie trailer for the game Subnautica. To my complete surprise, it quickly became one of my most viewed videos ever. Behind the scenes, this project presented an enormous technical challenge, and today I'm excited to share all of the details with you. In this video, I will guide you through the entire journey, unveiling the processes, techniques, and all of the challenges I encountered whilst crafting this video. My aim is to present everything in a way where technical people won't get bored, but where non-technical people won't feel confused. Are you ready to learn about the world of movie CGI techniques, render engines, and uncover how I managed to create this cinematic video completely for free? Well, strap into your life pods, craft up a sea glide, and let's dive in. Before we start though, I just want to make a couple things clear, just so we have some common understanding. I made the original video a couple years ago for April Fools, and then remastered it last year for fun. Go watch both of those videos, since none of this will make any sense if you don't watch them. Even if you already have, I recommend watching them again, just to refresh your memory. Done? Alright, let's get back to the video. Okay, let's break down the way this video is gonna work. I will go through the entire video, scene by scene, and explain the whole process of making it. I'll go over the original video, what was changed in the newer version, and all of the techniques I used throughout. Before that though, it might be helpful to go over the overall workflow the 3D artists use. Any CGI scene you see, from a feature film to a random animation, usually uses these steps: modeling, layout, materials, lighting, rendering, post-processing. Step 1 is modeling. This is where we make all the 3D models that will be used in the scene. This is one I kind of sidestepped because I downloaded most of the models online, which were taken from the game, because this is from Subnautica, the models are already made. Credit to, I think it's Fox 3D, is what the company's called, it makes the models, and Unknown Worlds, they provided all the models. I got it from Sketchfab. I have links to all of the models and everything for you guys. The only shots that really needed modeling was for the alien rooms, which have these floor tiles which were a nightmare to model. I'll talk more about those later. The next step is the layout. This is where we put all of our models together, the layout of the scene. This was a lot of work, but it's usually pretty easy. I'm also lumping animation into this. Animation is usually another step in the process where you make all of the things move and bring life to the characters or stuff, but like there weren't really characters here, there wasn't much animation, so no real point in making it its own step. Step 3 is materials. This is exactly what it sounds like, replicating the materials of the real world and trying to make them look realistic. Here's a couple techniques I used. Number 1 is normal mapping. This is an effect where we don't need to have ridiculous amounts of geometry to make a simple bumpiness. Instead of having to hand model all of the details, we use a normal map to do this. It just kind of fakes the bump without needing actual geometry data and lagging the scene and making it slower and costing more memory and more computer space. This is how I created the waves in the water for the first 2 shots, as well as adding texture and other things. Hi, it's Editing Me. This was going to be another couple points about like what kind of techniques I use for this stuff, but I realized this is way beyond the scope of this video and I'm not going to let it drone on for that long. So I'm decided to omit the rest of the points I'm going to make here. So let's just jump straight to what I had to talk next, because this probably deserves an entire video on its own about photorealism and stuff like that. The next step is lighting. This is where we put our materials to good use and add light to make them realistic. Here we can change a lot about the scene. Something as simple as how low the sun is can change the entire mood of a scene. Take the Aurora shot for example. In the original, yeah, the model's crap, but more importantly, the shot feels less cinematic. Dropping the sun to that golden hour really brings out the cinematic feel. In some shots is the only real change, and post-processing, but I'll get to that later. Step 5 is rendering. This is a bit of a pain, but I'll get to it later more. It's basically about getting your render engine to work with the scene you have, and then waiting hours until it's done. Just leaving your computer on for a while you do other things. Again, I'll talk more about how rendering works and how render engines actually process light and all of the complicated stuff that relates to that. I'll talk about that later. And the last step is post-processing. This is basically like adding filters, like the little things you add to your like photos or videos, but with more control. Basically, this is adding effects to your render. Adding some glare here, color grading here, lens distortion here, chromatic aberration there. Don't worry about all these fancy words, by the way. Here's a dictionary for all of the things I just said. I will provide this every time I think of a crazy word that you might not understand, I'll just place a little thing in case I don't have time to go into the actual definition. You can pause the video and read them. I will maybe even provide some images. Post-processing was often the difference between the old shot and the remaster. Several shots have post-processing as the only change, but it adds a lot and can really enhance the atmosphere, as well as just making the scene look better. Alright, now that we know the workflow that CGI artists use to create the scenes, we can finally take a look at the actual shots. Ready? Let's begin. Shot 1 is probably the simplest, yet it's really interesting. I love how it conveys the vastness even though we only see a bit of it. The remaster had some small changes, mostly just post-processing, and I made the water move and changed the lifeboat a bit. But other than that, there's not really much to talk about here, so let's move on. It's a pretty simple shot. Made it in like half an hour, I think. It's pretty good. Next up, the Grand Aurora shot. This is probably the best, probably my favorite shot in the whole. It's iconic. It's the thumbnail for the video that got it like 28, like 30k views. I don't even know what it's on now. But it's the thumbnail that got all of the views, basically. This one was epic. I think it really changes the original. When I made the original, I couldn't find a good model of the Aurora. I could only find an untextured one. So I just slapped a cruddy metal texture on it and called it a day. The new one, however, is so much better. It's actually textured, so it looks really good, and that combined with the golden hour lighting, the glare that I added, and the moving water, just makes the shot truly cinematic. The shot was also massively improved by post-processing. While it didn't look really bad without the post-processing, the effects on top really make it look spectacular. Now, these text screens are pretty cool. I tried to change the original Subnautica menu, make the original, the main menu of the game. I also tried to improve it, make it a little more cinematic. I used the, golden hour lighting and made the waves a little closer. Here I used actual displacement on the waves, and so there's actual depth and bump here, so it's not the fakery. But I also used the normal map fakery method on top of that. Notice the little ripples on the waves not moving properly? That's actually a mistake I made. Those should have been actually moving, but I forgot to make them move, I guess. So much better than the original text screens. Next, the Cyclops and the Grand Reef. This one was pretty simple, just a model of the Cyclops in some simple geometry. I actually went into the game for this one to take screenshots and use as textures for the walls. The improvement from the remaster was pretty insignificant, just some color grading and changing the glass on the Cyclops. The big thing I want to talk about here, though, is that flickering on the side. Why is that there? Well, to answer that, we're gonna have to go down a rabbit hole about how path tracers work. Basically, in the real world, light rays come from the light source and bounce around everything and into our eyes, or the camera. Path tracing in render engines replicate this, but in reverse. They trace the paths of the light rays back to the light source. See how they got the name? They first start by giving us a noisy, messy image like this. And they slowly sample to give clearer and cleaner results. Hi, editing me here just afterwards a little bit. I don't know why I pronounced this so weirdly. The word I am trying to say here is sample. I don't know why I pronounced it like that at all. It's S-A-M-P-L-E. Okay, I'm saying S-A-M-P-L-E, sample. I don't know why I said it like that, but I did. So yeah, just remember that. The more times they sample, the cleaner the image will look, but it will also take longer. The thing is, sometimes even after sampling a lot, there's still noise left, like little bits of bumpiness on the screen. So you use what's called a denoiser to smear away all of that noise. Thing is though, noise fluctuates and changes in every frame. So the denoiser smudges it differently in every frame, causing this flickering. If I remove the denoiser, we can see the real culprit. But why is the image so noisy? Well, it's because Cycles, the rendering engine I used to make this, really struggles with volumetrics. That's basically stuff like smoke, fog, or I'll show images of what I mean. That effect is also present underwater, and I had to use it here. The rendering engine really did not like that, and produced a noisy image. This actually happens a couple times through the video, since I'm not using the best computer in the world, and it struggles a bit. So I had to let the rendering engine sample less times, so I can render the video without it taking years. This means I end up with a noisier image, therefore, more denoiser flickering. Oh, by the way, I'm using the software Blender, which, though it has a bit of a reputation for being used for cruddy Minecraft animations and stuff like that, it's actually a fully functional 3D program, and can be used to create anything, even Disney-level quality. What's brilliant is, it's completely free, meaning that anyone can use it and teach it, despite it being just as good as the hyper-expensive stuff. There's literally no catch. Also, all of the 3D models I used are completely free. I put sources down in the description of the original video, so go check it out if you want to use the model yourself. Next, we have one of my favorite shots, the Atlas. This was new in the remaster. It just replaced like a random like in-game screenshot of the kelp, and I love it. I try to get rid of all of the screen recordings from the game instead of like just like keeping just recordings from the actual game, making it all in 3D. So I remade some shots, but this one I completely redid from scratch. It's pretty simple. Here the Atlas is stationary, camera and bubbles lights move around it. The way the light rays was done was a bit weird, like the god rays. It was causing some weird problems with the light going 2 directions at once, and it also caused these weird, impossible hard lines that don't resemble actual water caustics. Still, this shot looked pretty cool. The Reaper one was a minor upgrade, but I did change it a bit. The interior of the Cyclops was hardly changed, but I altered the bit on the left slightly. And I think I added some glare. This one was pretty cool. I started wanting to have a sea dragon in the front chasing the Cyclops, but I couldn't find a good model and I want some suspense, so I changed it. I really wanted to keep that brilliant depth of field along with a beautiful bokeh, but it caused a lot of rendering problems. Still looked pretty good though. I won't go into detail about all the problems since it's a bit technical, but if you want to know, ask me in the comments and I'll be happy to answer. Oh, yeah, I also read every single comment and reply to all of them. So if you have any questions or didn't understand something or have a video request or anything like that, feel free to comment down below. I would be more than happy to respond. And yeah, I just want to mention, while you're down there, maybe hit the subscribe button. I'm at 500 subscribers now. I am so happy. Thank you so much for getting... thank you so much for getting me to... guys, no. The 500 subs. I'm turning into a YouTuber. No! 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 Please subscribe. Yeah, actually, you need to subscribe. I know this graph gets shown in every video. It doesn't really mean anything, because obviously you're gonna have more people who aren't subscribed than people who are, but, like, whatever, sure. Yeah, just, hit the subscribe button, come on. Just hit it. And while you're there, smash the like button, help more people see it, and, I think I'm happy. And watch some of my other videos, thank you so much. I'm really appreciative of all you guys. Anyway, back to the CG stuff before you get bored. This show was pretty good. I just modeled the floor thingies by hand. It was fun but quite tedious. I used an image of the pattern and just traced it, just drawing over it like that. I did a similar pattern on the other similar shot, but it was like mirrored, so it was a little easier to do. The remaster didn't change much, just added some better color grading and post-processing. I think the glare actually ended up looking a bit weird or whatever. What I did change though was the audio. Not only are some of the lines different and the audio clearer, but the music is different. I changed the audio quite a bit here, and I think it's loads better.
We should never have left this place.
They are your responsibility now. Don't let them down.
They do not want us down there.
Captain, you need to evacuate. You'll need the ship.
We should never have left this place.
Understood, but they are your responsibility now. Don't let them down.
They do not want us down there.
Captain, you need to evacuate. You'll need the ship at once.
The next bit is interesting because it was added entirely in the remaster. It changes the editing of the video to fit it. It's just a simple shot of the Reaper Leviathan and the Seamoth. The Reaper was a pain to animate and the Seamoth was an awful model. But I think it's fine overall. The audio is also pretty chilling. I used Shadow of the Reefback by Simon Chilinsky, and I added like the from the start of Seamoth, and added like a distant Reaper roar from the game files. Yeah, I think I did a pretty good job with that one. It looked kind of cool. Next one is interesting. It was supposed to be included in the original. I made it all the way back then. Right, like I remember I made it literally, like the day before I uploaded the video, but I just didn't include it for some reason. I made some changes and put it in here, and I think it's brilliant. The original was the interior of the primary containment facility from the game, but I felt it was like weird, and it was modeled well, but it was lit in a weird way. The precursor bases are lit weirdly, like they don't, like the light doesn't come from anywhere, it's just kind of, like light just exists in the room. So, trying to match that was difficult and it just looked bad. I think I made some changes to it, it looked okay. The portal was pretty cool. It was the original with better lighting and post-processing. I also tweaked the camera motion a bit. Now this thing was interesting. It was originally just a recording of the bit from the game, but I decided to remake it for the remaster. 90% of the look you see here was for the post-processing all the way. If you want, I can make a tutorial on how to get this effect yourself, as well as any other effects you want. Just let me know in the comments. I will be more than happy to make a tutorial on anything you'd like. Now, this final scene. Reaper was pretty big. A lot of people said that it was weird, but Reapers are actually quite a bit bigger in the game than they look. Not quite this big though. Still pretty... It worked. Scary. Remaster made it a bit bigger and changed the animation, materials, lighting, all of that. Not that much to say. And that's the video! I'm really proud of it. I really hope we get a full Subnautica movie at some point. If you like, subscribe, share. Maybe someone with the right budget and time will see it and make it a reality. I hope. That's what I really want. I don't know if one random channel with 500 subscribers can make an entire movie happen. But like, we have a community. There's a Subnautica community. I hope at some point this thing does happen. Again, this was really just a big art project. It wasn't meant to be an actual, like, pitch, but it was there. I just wanted it to be there. It was just a fun thing I did for fun. Yeah, it's there. It was just a big art project. Although I might make more stuff like this. Maybe not a full movie, but like a short film. I had an absolute blast making this. It's so fun, like, to get up in the morning and be like, oh yeah, this is like a video. Like, go to, like, the desk and, like go to, like, your computer and just, like, animate all this stuff, like, add the things and be like, oh, it's looking so good, and, like, render it out. It's so fun. It's so fun to do that. So, as for the future of this channel, I don't know. I've been doing whatever for a while. I did Minecraft videos before. I did random gaming. I did theories. I did a bunch of random stuff. I just put whatever videos I made. I just made whatever I felt like it. And I didn't really have a theme. That's the big problem with my channel. But now I'm thinking of theming my channel more, specifically around CG. I think I'm not going to be the video game guy. I'm going to be the CG guy. I think that's what I'm good at. That's what I'm able to do. We'll have to see. But I think I'm going to have to let go of theories. Maybe I'll do theories in another way somewhere else later. But this channel is no longer becoming a theorizing channel. It's sad. I'd really like theorizing. But it's fun. I think we can let it go for now. Yeah, that's going to have to do. I'm also going to move on to other things. I'm going to do music, because I make music. You can go check it out. I do that. I might post that here for a while. Maybe I'll shift it somewhere else. And I have a video game, Elixir to Life. It's a brilliant game. You can go check it out. I have a link in the description for it. You can go play it. It's completely free. It's really fun. It's a sci-fi, horror-esque, but not too scary, like, lore-filled. There's plenty of lore. It's a shooter game. It's brilliant. Chapter 3 has just released at the time of recording this. You should go check it out. It's absolutely amazing. I'm loving making it. So, why don't you go check it out? It's free. It's not too much of your time. Why don't you go check that out? Again, I read every single comment. I do all that, so if you want a video request, want any, like, specific things, you can let me know. I will be more than happy. And yeah, subscribe, I guess. That's it. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.